The call came into the Policía Federal Mexicana station in Cancún at 3:47 a.m. on a Thursday morning. A hotel guest screaming from room 412 at the Gran Caribe Resort. When officers arrived 12 minutes later, they found Valentina Restrepo huddled in the bathroom, her white summer dress stained with blood that wasn't hers. In the bedroom, Lucas Ortega lay unconscious, a lamp shattered beside him, deep lacerations across his face and arms. Self-inflicted. The mirror was smashed. Blood everywhere. Scrawled on the wall in red lipstick, "She is not real." This is how an online romance turned into a nightmare. How a woman traveled across borders seeking love, only to discover the man she thought she knew existed only in pixels and imagination. Valentina Restrepo never imagined her search for connection would end with her fighting for her life against a man who could no longer distinguish reality from delusion. Valentina Maria Restrepo was born on August 14, 1988, in Bogotá, Colombia, the youngest of 4 children in a traditional Catholic family. Her father, Roberto, owned a small printing business in Chapinero. Her mother, Luz Marina, devoted her life to raising her children with discipline and love. They lived in a modest apartment on Calle 53, working class, respectable, proud. Growing up in Bogotá during the 1990s meant living in the shadow of violence. The cartel wars, the bombings, the constant fear. But her parents shielded her with education, faith and family. Valentina was a bright student who loved literature and writing. She dreamed of becoming a journalist, telling stories that mattered, giving voice to the voiceless. She attended Universidad Nacional de Colombia, studying communications and journalism. At 23, she started working for El Tiempo, one of Colombia's most respected newspapers, covering local politics and social issues. Journalism in Colombia was dangerous work. Reporters were threatened, sometimes killed. By her late 20s, Valentina moved into feature writing, human interest stories, profiles of artists, safer territory. Dating had always been complicated. Colombian men often expected traditional roles. But Valentina was independent, opinionated, career-focused. She dated casually through her 20s. At 30, she was briefly engaged to a lawyer named Andres, but he wanted children immediately and for her to quit her job. They parted amicably, but it left her questioning whether she'd find someone who accepted all of her. By 35, Valentina had built a comfortable life in Bogotá. She rented an apartment in Usaquén, a trendy northern neighborhood. She had close friends, a yoga practice, weekend trips to coffee farms. Her work was fulfilling, she was financially stable. She'd made peace with the possibility that she might not find romantic love. She was okay with that. Mostly, in February 2023, a colleague suggested she try online dating. International apps, you can meet people from anywhere. The app was called Latin Connect. Valentina hesitated but created a profile. She used recent photos and described herself honestly. Journalist, loves reading and hiking, passionate about social justice, seeking someone intelligent and kind. Messages flooded in within hours. Most were superficial or crude, but one stood out. From Lucas Ortega, 42, from Playa del Carmen, Mexico. His profile showed a handsome man with salt and pepper hair in tailored suits. His bio described him as a hotel management consultant working with luxury resorts. His message was thoughtful and respectful. They talked every day. Text messages at first, then voice calls. Lucas told her about his childhood in Guadalajara, his parents who ran a small hotel. He described his career at resort chains, eventually settling in Playa del Carmen, where he ran his own consulting firm. He'd been married and divorced, no children. Just work and waiting for the right person. After 3 weeks, they started video calls. Lucas appeared exactly like his photos. Handsome, well-groomed professional. He was in what looked like a home office, tastefully decorated. Through the window behind him, she could glimpse tropical plants and blue sky. They video called every other day. Valentina felt truly seen for the first time in years. What Valentina didn't know was that Lucas Ortega wasn't a hotel consultant. He didn't run a business. The man she was falling for existed only in carefully constructed lies. The real Lucas lived in a small rented room in Cancun's Zona Hotelera, worked sporadically as a night janitor, and suffered from paranoid schizophrenia. He'd stopped treating it 2 years earlier when he couldn't afford medication anymore. By May, 4 months into their online relationship, Lucas suggested meeting in person. "I travel to Cancun frequently for work. What if we met there? It's beautiful. We could spend a few days together, see if this connection translates to the real world." Valentina's heart raced. She wanted to meet him, but traveling to another country felt risky. She talked to friends and family. Some encouraged her, others warned her. Finally, she decided. Life was about taking chances. She was 35, financially independent, experienced. She'd traveled alone before. Something about Lucas felt different, worth the risk. "I'll come to Cancun," she told him, "but I'll book my own hotel and flight. I need to feel in control." Lucas smiled warmly, "Of course. Whatever makes you comfortable." They set a date, August 10th, 2023. Valentina booked a flight from Bogotá to Cancun and reserved a room at the Gran Caribe Resort. She arranged time off work. Her friends threw a small going-away party, half celebration, half intervention. "Be careful. Keep your phone charged. Check in every day," she promised. But in her heart, she believed this would be wonderful. The night before her flight, Valentina packed carefully. Summer dresses, sandals, swimwear. She texted Lucas, "Flying out tomorrow morning. Can't wait to finally meet you." His response came immediately, "Me too. This is going to be perfect, Valentina. I promise." She fell asleep, dreaming of turquoise water, white sand beaches, and the man who might finally be the one. What she didn't know was that Lucas had stopped taking his antipsychotic medication 3 weeks earlier. He'd lost his janitorial job after accusing a co-worker of poisoning his water. He'd been living increasingly in a world of delusions and paranoia. The Lucas she'd been talking to existed only in his mind during moments of clarity. The rest of the time, he believed government agents were monitoring him, that people could read his thoughts. But he held on to one anchor to reality. Valentina was coming. He needed to meet her, to prove to himself she was real, that his feelings were real, that he wasn't completely lost to the illness. He'd scraped together money for a new shirt, decent shoes, a haircut. He'd borrowed a friend's phone. He'd found a way to access the Gran Caribe Resort. He had a plan. Everything would work out. It had to. On August 9th, 2023, Valentina Restrepo boarded Avianca Flight 692 from Bogotá to Cancun. She wore a yellow sundress, her dark hair pulled back, sunglasses perched on her head. She looked like any other tourist heading to paradise. She had no idea she was flying toward the most terrifying night of her life, toward a truth that would shatter everything she believed about love, trust, and the strangers we invite into our hearts through glowing screens. Cancun International Airport was chaos. Tourists everywhere, families, couples, spring breakers already drunk at noon. Valentina collected her luggage and stepped into the thick August heat. The humidity hit her immediately, different from Bogotá's mountain air. Heavy, coastal, making clothes stick to skin within minutes. She took a taxi to the Gran Caribe Resort. Her mind was elsewhere, rehearsing what she'd say to Lucas, imagining their first embrace. The taxi wound through the hotel zone, past massive all-inclusive resorts, restaurants, construction sites where new hotels rose from cleared jungle. The Gran Caribe Resort was smaller than its neighbors, boutique-style, painted in soft pastels. Valentina checked in at 2:30 p.m. Her room was on the 4th floor, ocean view. She unpacked, showered, changed into a light blue dress. She texted Lucas, "I'm here. When should we meet?" The reply came 10 minutes later. "How about dinner tonight? La Pescaderia, great seafood, 7 p.m. Valentina smiled. Perfect. She spent the afternoon on the balcony, watching the Caribbean stretch endlessly blue, trying to calm her nerves. In a few hours, she'd meet the man she'd been talking to for 6 months. At 6:45 p.m., Valentina walked to La Pescaderia. The restaurant was open air, tables under palm trees, string lights creating romantic glow. She arrived first, chose a table where she could see the entrance. She ordered water, checked her phone. Her heart hammered. Lucas arrived at 7:08 p.m. He looked different from the video calls. Thinner, his clothes rumpled, hair less styled. But it was him. He scanned the restaurant, spotted her, smiled wide. He walked over quickly, almost too quickly. "Valentina," he said, breathless. "You're even more beautiful in person." He leaned in for a hug. Valentina stood, embraced him. He smelled of cheap cologne mixed with sweat. The hug lasted a beat too long. When they pulled apart, Lucas kept his hands on her shoulders, staring at her face with an intensity that felt uncomfortable. "It's so good to finally meet you," Valentina said, sitting down. Lucas sat across from her, still staring. "How was your day?" she asked. He blinked, as if coming out of a trance. "My day? Oh, busy, consultations, hotels, you know." His hand trembled slightly as he reached for the menu. "Are you okay?" Valentina asked. "You seem nervous." Lucas laughed, sharp and too loud. "Nervous? No. Just excited. I've been waiting for this for so long." "Sometimes I thought you weren't real, you know? Like maybe I imagined you. But you're here. You're real." He reached across the table and grabbed her hand. Valentina felt a jolt of discomfort but smiled politely. "I'm real," she said. "And so are you." They ordered food. Grilled fish, ceviche, rice. Lucas talked rapidly, jumping from topic to topic. He asked about her flight, then interrupted her answer to talk about a hotel project he was supposedly working on. He asked about her family, then started describing his childhood in detail she'd already heard. His eyes darted around the restaurant, constantly scanning, as if looking for someone. Valentina tried to steer the conversation back to normal rhythms. "Tell me about Playa del Carmen," she said. "Your consulting firm. How's business?" Lucas paused mid-sentence. "What? Oh, good, very good. Busy season." He took a long drink of water. His hand still trembled. "Actually, I've been thinking about expanding. Maybe opening an office in Bogotá. We could work together. You could write about hospitality. I could consult. Perfect partnership." The food arrived. Lucas barely touched his plate. He watched Valentina eat, that same intense stare. Every time she looked up, he was looking at her. Not admiring, not affectionate, studying, like he was trying to memorize her features or confirm something. The romantic dinner she'd imagined was turning into something else, something that made her skin crawl. After dinner, Lucas suggested a walk on the beach. Valentina hesitated. It was dark now, the beach mostly empty. But she'd traveled all this way. "Okay," she said. "Just a short walk." They walked toward the sand. The sound of waves filled the night. Lucas talked non-stop. His childhood, his ex-wife, his dreams, his fears. But the stories didn't quite match what he'd told her before. Details were different, timelines shifted. Valentina tried to reconcile the contradictions, but couldn't. When she gently pointed out an inconsistency, Lucas became defensive. No, you misunderstood me before. I said Guadalajara, not Cabo. You must have misheard." They reached a darker stretch of beach. Lucas stopped walking and turned to face her. "Valentina, I need to tell you something." His voice was different now, harder. Valentina felt her pulse quicken. "What is it?" Lucas looked out at the ocean, then back at her. "I know you think I'm someone I'm not, but I need you to understand. Everything I told you was true. The feelings, the connection. That was real." Valentina's throat tightened. "What do you mean?" Lucas ran his hand through his hair, agitated. "The consulting firm, the office, the trips. Some of it was aspirational. I wanted to be that person for you. I wanted to deserve you. But I'm working on it. I'm getting there. Everything I said about loving you, about wanting a future together, that's real. You believe me, right?" A cold dread settled in Valentina's stomach. "Lucas, what exactly are you saying?" "Are you telling me you lied about your job?" Lucas stepped closer. "Not lied, embellished. I do work in hospitality, just not exactly as a consultant. But that doesn't change us. We're still the same people who talked every night for 6 months. Right?" Valentina stepped back. "I think I need to go back to the hotel." Lucas's face changed. Panic flashed across his features. "No, wait, don't leave. I knew you'd react like this. Everyone always leaves when they find out the truth. But you're different, Valentina. You see beyond the surface. You told me that, remember? I need time to process this," Valentina said, trying to keep her voice steady. "Let's talk tomorrow." Lucas grabbed her arm. Not hard, but firm enough to stop her. Please don't go. I can explain everything. Just give me a chance. Valentina pulled her arm free. Lucas, you're scaring me. Let me go back to my hotel. We can talk in the morning when we've both calmed down. Lucas's eyes filled with tears. You think I'm crazy, don't you? Everyone thinks I'm crazy, but I'm not. I love you. That's the only thing that matters. The only real thing in this whole fake world. Valentina felt genuine fear now. She looked around. The beach was empty. No one within shouting distance. Lucas, I'm going back to my hotel now, alone. We'll talk tomorrow. Okay. She turned and walked quickly toward the lights of the hotel zone. Lucas called after her. Valentina, wait! I'm sorry! I didn't mean to scare you, please. But she didn't turn around. She walked faster, nearly jogging, until she reached the main road. She hailed a taxi, climbed in, locked the door. Back to Grand Caribe Resort, she told the driver. Quickly, please. Back in her hotel room, Valentina locked the door, fastened the chain, pushed a chair against it. Her hands shook as she texted her sister. Something's wrong. Lucas isn't who he said he was. I'm safe, but I'm scared. Her sister replied immediately. Leave. Get on the first flight home. Her phone buzzed. A text from Lucas. I'm so sorry. I ruined everything. Please forgive me. Can I see you tomorrow? I promise I'll be better. Just don't give up on us. Valentina stared at the message. Part of her felt sympathy. Maybe he was just nervous, embarrassed. But another part, the part that had covered crime stories for years, told her to run, she typed back. I need time to think. I'll contact you tomorrow. Then she turned off her phone. She lay in bed, still dressed, listening to every sound. She didn't sleep. And she didn't know that 4 floors below, Lucas had talked his way past security and was now sitting in the bar, watching the elevators, waiting for morning, convinced that if he could just explain everything, Valentina would understand. She had to understand, because without her, the voices in his head told him nothing was real anymore. Valentina woke at 6 a.m., having barely slept. Every sound jolted her awake. She checked her phone. 17 missed calls from Lucas, 23 text messages. She scrolled through them, her stomach tightening. Please answer. I need to talk to you. I'm sorry. They're watching us. They don't want us together, but I won't let them win. The messages became increasingly erratic. Random thoughts, half-finished sentences. At 4:27 a.m., I'm in the lobby. I'll wait all night. You'll come down eventually. Valentina's hands trembled. He was downstairs, waiting for her. She called the front desk. There's a man in your lobby, Lucas Ortega. He's not a guest. He's been harassing me. Please ask him to leave. The receptionist was professional. Of course, senora. We'll handle it immediately. 10 minutes later, her phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Valentina, it's me. They kicked me out. I just wanted to talk. Why are you doing this? Lucas's voice was strained. Lucas, you lied about everything. I need space. Please respect that space. Lucas laughed bitterly. You think space changes anything? I love you. That's real. Everything else is just details. You felt it too. Those conversations were real. You can't throw that away because of my job. His voice rose. It's not a misunderstanding, Valentina said firmly. You lied, deliberately, for months. I need you to stop contacting me. I'm changing my flight and going home early. Silence. Then quietly, dangerously, you're not going anywhere. We need to talk face to face. Valentina hung up. Her heart pounded. She called the airline. Next flight to Bogotá was tomorrow evening. 24 hours. She booked it, paying the change fee. Then she called hotel security, explained the situation. They assured her they'd monitor the entrances. But Cancún was a tourist city. Hotels were open spaces. Impossible to control who walked through lobbies. She spent the day in her room, ordering room service, avoiding the balcony. Her sister called. Are you sure you're safe? Valentina assured her she was fine, that she'd be home tomorrow. But she didn't feel fine. She felt trapped, watched, like prey waiting for a predator. At 8 p.m., there was a knock. Room service, a voice called. But she hadn't ordered anything. She looked through the peephole. A hotel employee with a covered tray. She called the front desk. Did I order room service? The receptionist checked. No, senora. Send security, she said, now. When security arrived, the hallway was empty. The tray sat outside her door. Under the dome, a note in shaky handwriting. I'm sorry for scaring you. I know you think I'm crazy. Maybe I am, but I love you. That's the only thing I know for sure. Please give me one chance. Meet me at the beach behind the hotel, midnight. Just you and me. If you don't come, I'll leave you alone forever. Lucas. The security guard read the note, his expression grave. Senora, I strongly advise you not to go. This man is unstable. We've called the police. They'll patrol the area tonight. You should stay in your room, keep the door locked. Valentina nodded. She had no intention of meeting Lucas, but as the night wore on, guilt gnawed at her. What if he really did need help? What if he was suffering from mental illness and didn't know how to ask for treatment? At 11:45 p.m., Valentina made a decision she would regret for the rest of her life. She would go to the beach, but she wouldn't go alone. She'd stay near the hotel entrance, within view of security cameras, within shouting distance of help. She'd give Lucas 10 minutes to explain himself, then she'd walk away. She owed him that much. Or maybe she owed it to herself, to know the truth about the man she'd almost fallen in love with. She put on jeans, sneakers, a loose t-shirt. Comfortable clothes she could run in if necessary. She tucked her phone in her pocket, made sure it was fully charged. She told herself this was safe, controlled. She'd be visible the entire time. Nothing could happen. But as she rode the elevator down, as she walked through the lobby and out toward the beach, a small voice in her head whispered, "This is a mistake. Turn back, go to your room, lock the door." She ignored it. The beach was dark, lit only by distant hotel lights and a sliver of moon. She saw Lucas standing near the water, his silhouette familiar yet foreign. He turned when he heard her footsteps in the sand. "Valentina, you came. Thank you. I knew you'd understand. I knew you'd give me a chance." He walked toward her, and that's when Valentina saw his eyes. Wild, unfocused, the eyes of someone untethered from reality. "Lucas, I came to tell you I can't do this. I'm leaving tomorrow. I think you need help. Professional help. Maybe medication, therapy. But I can't be the one to give you that help." Lucas stopped walking. His face contorted. "Help? You think I need help?" His voice rose. "I don't need help. I need you. You're the only thing that makes sense anymore. Everything else is lies, illusions, games they're playing with my mind. But you're real. Who's playing games with your mind?" Valentina asked carefully. "Lucas, when did you last see a doctor?" He laughed, the sound hollow. "Doctors? They're part of it. The medication they gave me, it made everything worse. Made me forget who I really am. But I stopped taking it. I can think clearly now. I can see the truth. And the truth is that we're meant to be together. They don't want that. But I won't let them keep us apart." Valentina's fear crystallized into certainty. Lucas was deeply unwell. Paranoid delusions, persecution complex, likely schizophrenia. She needed to get away from him immediately. "Lucas, I'm going back to the hotel now. I want you to go home, talk to someone you trust, get help." She turned to leave. Lucas grabbed her wrist. "No, you're not leaving. Not until you understand. Let go of me," Valentina said, her voice sharp. Lucas tightened his grip. "I can't. If you leave, they'll get to you. They'll turn you against me. They'll make you think I'm crazy. But I'm not crazy. I see things clearly now, more clearly than ever. You're in danger, Valentina. We both are. The only way we're safe is together. We need to leave this place, tonight, right now." Valentina tried to pull away. "Lucas, you're hurting me. Let go." But his grip was iron. His eyes were somewhere else, seeing things that weren't there. "Come with me. We'll disappear. Somewhere they can't find us. Mexico City, or maybe Colombia, your apartment. We'll be safe there. Just you and me, the way it was supposed to be. Please, Valentina. Please don't abandon me like everyone else." Valentina made a decision. She screamed, as loud as she could. "Help! Someone help me!" Lucas's face changed. Rage replaced desperation. "Why did you do that? Why did you call them? Now they'll come. They'll separate us. They'll lock me up again. No, I won't let that happen." He pulled her away from the hotel lights, toward the darker section of beach. Valentina fought, kicked, screamed again. But Lucas was strong, driven by delusion and adrenaline. In the distance, flashlights appeared. Security guards running toward them. Lucas saw them too. His grip loosened for just a second. Valentina wrenched free, stumbled backward in the sand. Lucas reached for her again. "You're making a mistake. They'll hurt you. I'm trying to protect you." But Valentina was already running toward the lights, toward safety, toward people who existed in the real world, not the fractured reality Lucas inhabited. Behind her, she heard Lucas screaming, "Valentina, come back! They're not real! None of this is real. Only you, only us!" The security guards reached her first, surrounded her, asked if she was hurt. She shook her head, gasping for breath. They moved past her toward Lucas, who stood alone on the dark beach, crying now, his hands covering his face. And in that moment, Valentina felt pity mixed with terror. This wasn't evil. This was illness. This was a mind breaking apart, taking everything it touched down with it. But the nightmare wasn't over. It was just beginning. The police arrived within minutes. 2 officers from Policia Federal Mexicana. They found Lucas sitting in the sand, rocking back and forth, talking to himself. When they approached, he didn't resist. "Where is she?" he asked. "Where did Valentina go? Tell them to stop watching us." One officer knelt beside Lucas. "Senor, come with us." Lucas nodded. "Can I talk to Valentina first?" The officer shook his head. "No, senor. You need to come to the station." As they led him away, he turned back. "Valentina," he called out. "I'm sorry. I love you. Please don't forget that." Valentina watched from the lobby, surrounded by security. The manager offered water. "We're so sorry, senora. We've upgraded you to a suite on the top floor. Extra security. Your flight is tomorrow evening. We'll arrange private transportation to the airport." At the police station, Lucas was processed. Officers recognized the signs. Acute psychotic episode. They called the psychiatrist, but Mexico's mental health system was overwhelmed. The nearest facility with beds was 3 hours away, and Lucas hadn't committed a crime beyond harassment. They decided to hold him overnight and release him with a warning in the morning. Valentina moved to Suite 712, larger, more secure. She locked everything, checked windows, closed curtains. She called her sister. "I'm okay. The police took him. Tomorrow I'll be home," her sister worried. "You should leave tonight." But Valentina felt exhausted. "It's late. I'll be fine. Security is everywhere." She tried to sleep but couldn't. At 2 a.m., she dozed off. She dreamed of Lucas, but not angry or delusional, the charming man from the video calls. When she woke at 6 a.m., she felt strange sadness mixed with relief. In hours, she'd be on a plane. What Valentina didn't know was that at 5 a.m., police released Lucas. He signed a form promising to leave Cancún to seek help. He appeared calm, rational. "Yes, officer, I understand. I'll take the bus home. I'll see a doctor. I'm sorry." But Lucas didn't leave. The voices were louder now. "She's in danger. You have to get to her. Make her understand." He reached Gran Caribe Resort at 7:30 a.m. Security had changed shifts. Morning guards didn't recognize him. He walked through confidently, took the elevator to the 4th floor, her original room. But she wasn't there. He checked the pool, restaurant, beach, nothing. Panic set in. Where did they take her? He needed to find her. At 9 a.m., Valentina ordered breakfast. She was packing, counting hours. 11 more until her flight. The knock came at 9:30, room service. She looked through the peephole. Uniformed employee with a cart. She opened the door with the chain attached. "Just leave it outside." The employee nodded, left. Valentina waited a minute before pulling the cart inside. She lifted the dome. Scrambled eggs, toast, coffee. Normal, safe. She ate quickly, her mind on the plane ride home. What she didn't see was Lucas watching from the stairwell. He'd followed the employee, learned which room was hers. Suite 712. He waited until the hallway was empty, then knocked softly. "Valentina, it's me. Please open the door. I need to talk to you." Valentina's blood turned to ice. She grabbed her phone, dialed security. "He's here. Lucas is outside my room. Suite 712, please help." The dispatcher was calm. "Stay inside. Lock the door. We're sending someone immediately." Lucas knocked harder. "Valentina, I know you're in there, please." She pressed against the wall. Then silence. Had he left? She waited. 1 minute, 2, footsteps walking away. Relief flooded through her. But then metal scraping. The emergency exit. Footsteps running back, fast. The door shook violently. Lucas was ramming it, once, twice. The lock held, but the doorframe cracked. Valentina screamed, "Stop!" She grabbed the lamp. The door shook again. The chain snapped. The deadbolt held once more, then gave way. The door burst open. Lucas stood in the doorway, chest heaving, eyes wild. His hands bled. "Valentina, thank God I couldn't find you. I thought they'd taken you." He stepped in. Valentina backed away, holding the lamp. "Lucas, get out. Security is coming." "You're going to jail." He shook his head. "You don't understand. There is no security. None of this is real. Only you. Only us." He moved toward her. Valentina swung the lamp. It connected with his shoulder. He barely flinched. He grabbed her wrists. The lamp fell. "Valentina, listen. I need you to wake up. See the truth. We're meant to be together." She tried to pull away. "Lucas, you're sick. You need help. Let me go." His expression changed. Hurt replaced desperation. "Sick? You think I'm sick?" His voice rose. "I'm the only one who sees clearly. I stopped taking their poison. Now I can see what they're doing to you. But I can fix this." He pulled her toward him. Valentina fought, scratched his face, kicked. "Let go of me!" Lucas's grip tightened. "Stop fighting. I'm trying to help you. Why won't you love me back? I gave you everything. You threw it away, just like everyone else." The pain in his voice was real, but so was the danger. Valentina saw the mirror. She grabbed something from the dresser and hurled it. The mirror shattered. Lucas turned toward the sound. Valentina wrenched free and ran to the bathroom. She slammed the door, locked it. Lucas pounded. "Valentina, don't hide!" She pressed against the door, sobbing. Where was security? In the bedroom. Lucas looked at his reflection in the broken mirror. Blood dripped from scratches on his face. His hands were torn. He stared at himself. For a brief moment, clarity broke through. "What am I doing? This isn't love." But then voices returned louder. "Save her, don't let them win." He picked up a piece of broken mirror. Valentina called emergency services from the bathroom. "Please, send police." Gran Caribe Resort, Suite 712. A man broke in. "I'm trapped." The operator was steady. "Police are en route." "Stay on the line. Help is coming." Then she heard a different sound, a thud, a groan. Silence. Lucas's voice came through the door, weak. "I'm sorry." "I just wanted you to love me. Tell them I tried to be good." And then a body hitting the floor, heavy, final. Valentina waited. Sirens in the distance, shouting in the hallway. "Police, get the medic." A gentle knock on the bathroom door. "Senora, it's the police. You're safe. You can come out." Valentina opened slowly, trembling. The bedroom was chaos. Lucas lay unconscious, blood pooling around him. Self-inflicted wounds on his arms. Broken mirror beside him. Paramedics worked frantically. Police ushered Valentina out, but not before she saw the words scrawled in blood on the wall. "She is not real," over and over. An officer wrapped a blanket around her. "You're safe now, Senora. He can't hurt you anymore." But Valentina knew the truth. The hurt had already been done. To both of them, the ambulance screamed through Cancun's traffic, Lucas strapped to a gurney, barely conscious, blood pressure dropping. Significant blood loss from self-inflicted lacerations. Paramedics radioed ahead to Hospital General. "Prepare psychiatric ward. Patient is violent and delusional. Requires restraints." At the hotel, Valentina sat in the manager's office, wrapped in a blanket despite the heat. Her dress was stained. Her hands shook. Detective Morales from the Ministerio Público arrived. Mid-40s, experienced, he sat across from her. "Senora Restrepo, I need to understand what happened." "Take your time." Valentina told the story. The online relationship, the lies, the escalating behavior, the attack. Detective Morales listened, making notes. When she finished, he leaned back. "Senora, you did nothing wrong. This man suffers from severe mental illness. You were a victim. You're free to leave Mexico whenever you wish. Will he go to prison?" Valentina asked. Detective Morales considered. "If he survives, if doctors deem him competent, he'll face charges. But given his mental state, he'll likely be committed to a psychiatric facility. Either way, he won't be free for a long time. You're safe from him now." The words felt hollow. Safe. What did that even mean anymore? At Hospital General, doctors stabilized Lucas. The wounds weren't severe, superficial lacerations. The real concern was his mental state. Dr. Elena Vega, the psychiatrist, evaluated him. Lucas was restrained, sedated, drifting. When lucid, he spoke about Valentina. She's in danger. I need to protect her. You don't understand. Dr. Vega reviewed his history. Previous diagnosis of paranoid schizophrenia. Prescribed antipsychotics. Last treatment 3 years ago. Non-compliant with medication. No family support. Classic case of untreated mental illness spiraling into crisis. She wrote her recommendation. Involuntary psychiatric commitment. Patient poses danger to himself and others. At the hotel, Valentina gave her statement. They photographed the destroyed room. Evidence of violence, but also illness. An officer asked if she wanted to press charges. He tried to hurt you, the officer said. But Valentina thought about Lucas crying on the beach. He's sick, she said quietly. He needs help, not prison. The officer nodded. The charges will proceed regardless. This is criminal now, but your compassion is noted. Valentina didn't feel understanding. She felt exhausted, traumatized, angry. But she also felt sadness for the person Lucas might have been with proper treatment if mental health care was accessible, if society didn't abandon people like him. The hotel moved her to a new room again, Suite 801. The manager apologized profusely. We've failed in our duty to protect you. Your entire stay has been refunded. We're arranging immediate transportation to the airport. You don't have to wait until evening. There's a flight to Bogota at 2 p.m. We've already contacted the airline. They'll accommodate you. Please let us help make this right. Valentina packed mechanically. Her vacation clothes felt absurd now. The sundresses and swimsuits she'd brought for romance. She stuffed everything into her suitcase, not bothering to fold. She just wanted to leave, to be home, to forget this nightmare ever happened. But she knew she'd never forget. The fear, the violence, the moment she realized the man she'd fallen for never existed at all. At 11 a.m., a private car arrived. Valentina climbed in, grateful to leave the Gran Caribe resort behind. As they drove through Cancún, she looked out the window. Tourists laughing, couples holding hands, families building sandcastles. Normal life continuing while hers had been shattered. The driver noticed her distress. First time in Cancún, señora? She laughed bitterly. And the last. At the airport she checked in early. They upgraded her to business class. She sat in the lounge staring at her phone. 17 voicemails. 32 text messages. News had spread. Are you okay? What happened? She texted her sister. I'm at the airport. Flight leaves in 2 hours. I'm okay. Physically, the response was immediate. Thank God. I'll pick you up. You're not going home alone. Valentina felt tears. She wasn't alone. She had family. Unlike Lucas, who had no one, whose illness had isolated him until he couldn't distinguish love from obsession. At Hospital General, Lucas woke in restraints. White walls, fluorescent lights, disinfectant smell. A nurse checked vitals. Where am I? Hospital, senor. You're safe. He pulled against restraints. Valentina. Where's Valentina? Is she okay? The nurse was professional but sad. Please calm down. You need rest, but Lucas couldn't calm down. Memories flooded back, breaking down the door, grabbing her, fear in her eyes. The mirror, blood, and the voices, quieter but persistent. You failed. Everyone leaves. He closed his eyes and wept. Not for himself, but for the man he used to be before illness consumed him. Dr. Vega visited his room that afternoon. Lucas, I'm Dr. Vega. I'm here to help you. Can we talk? Lucas looked at her with red, swollen eyes. I heard her, didn't I? Valentina. I heard her. The doctor sat down carefully. You scared her badly, but she's safe now. She's leaving Mexico today. Lucas nodded slowly. That's good. She should go. Far away from me. I'm dangerous. I know that now. The voices told me I was helping her, protecting her. But I was the danger all along. This clarity is important, Lucas. It means we can work together. You have paranoid schizophrenia. It's treatable with medication and therapy. But you stopped treatment. Why? Lucas stared at the ceiling. Couldn't afford it. Lost my job. Lost my insurance. The medication made me feel like a zombie. and when I stopped taking it for a while I felt better, more alive. But then the voices came back, stronger, and I couldn't tell what was real anymore. Dr. Vega made notes. You'll be staying here for observation and treatment. Then you'll be transferred to a long-term psychiatric facility. You'll face legal consequences, but the court will take your illness into account. The important thing now is getting you stable. Will you work with me? Lucas nodded. I don't have a choice, do I? You always have a choice, Dr. Vega said gently. And choosing treatment is the right one. At 1:45 p.m., Valentina boarded flight 693 to Bogotá. She took her window seat in business class, grateful for the space and privacy. As the plane taxied, she looked out at Cancún disappearing below. Somewhere in that city, Lucas lay in a hospital bed, his mind fractured, his future uncertain. She felt no satisfaction, no sense of justice, only overwhelming sadness for two lives derailed by a disease that went untreated until it exploded into violence. The flight attendant offered champagne. Valentina declined. She closed her eyes as the plane climbed. 3 days ago, she'd been on a similar flight, full of hope and anticipation. Now she was returning broken, traumatized, questioning everything she thought she knew about love, trust, and the dangers lurking behind digital facades. She'd come to Cancún seeking connection. She'd found something else entirely, a reminder that not all monsters are evil. Some are just sick. And sometimes the scariest thing is that we can't tell the difference until it's too late. The plane leveled off. Valentina opened her laptop. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard. Then she began to write. Not for publication, not yet. But she needed to process what happened, to turn trauma into narrative, to make sense of the senseless. She wrote about Lucas, about mental illness, about online deception, about the moment she realized the man she loved never existed. About surviving. The words flowed, painful but necessary. This story would haunt her forever. But maybe, by writing it, she could begin to heal. 6 months later, Valentina stood in an auditorium in Bogotá. Universidad Nacional had invited her to speak about online safety and mental health awareness. She'd been hesitant. Talking about Cancún meant reliving it. But her editor convinced her. Your story could help people. It could save lives. 200 students filled the auditorium. Valentina gripped the podium. 6 months ago, I traveled to Cancún to meet a man I'd fallen in love with online. What I found wasn't love. It was delusion, mental illness, and violence. But it taught me about the invisible people we create through screens and the real consequences when fantasy collides with reality. She told her story, not all of it. She left out the worst details, but she shared enough. The warning signs, the lies, the escalation. When she finished, the room was silent. Then a hand raised. A young woman. How do you trust anyone online now? Valentina smiled sadly. I've learned that trust should be earned slowly. Video calls aren't enough. Meeting in public matters. Telling people where you are matters. And if something feels wrong, it probably is. Listen to that instinct. Another hand. Do you hate him? Valentina considered carefully. No, I don't hate him. I fear what he did. I'm angry about the trauma, but Lucas is sick. Paranoid schizophrenia, untreated. He needed help long before he met me. Our healthcare systems fail people like him. And when they fail, everyone suffers. So no, I don't hate him. But I'll never forget what he was capable of. After the talk, several students approached her. Thank you for sharing. One young man was quieter. I have schizophrenia. Managed, medicated. Your talk was fair. You didn't demonize mental illness. Valentina felt tears. Thank you for telling me that. That night, Valentina opened her laptop. She'd been writing about the experience for months. The article was nearly finished. She reread the final paragraph, then hit publish. The article went live on El Tiempo's website. Within hours, thousands shared it. Comments poured in. Survivors sharing stories. Mental health advocates praising her balanced approach. The story mattered. One message stood out. From a woman in Mexico City. I'm Lucas Ortega's aunt. I didn't know he'd stopped his medication. Your article made me realize I abandoned him. I've started visiting him. He's getting better, slowly. He asks about you often. Not romantically. He wants to know you're okay. He carries tremendous guilt. Valentina stared at the message for a long time. She typed a response. Thank you for reaching out. I'm glad he has support now. Please tell him I'm safe. I'm healing, and I hope he finds peace. At the Psychiatric Institute of Merida, Lucas sat in group therapy. The therapist asked each person to share one positive thing. My aunt visited again, 3rd time this month. She brought photos of my childhood, helped me remember who I was before the illness. It was good, painful, but good, the therapist nodded. How are the medications working? Lucas considered. Better. The voices are quieter. Sometimes gone completely. I can think clearly. I understand what I did. The guilt is overwhelming. But Dr. Vega says guilt means I'm processing reality correctly. After the session, Lucas walked the facility grounds. Gardens, high fences, security. A hospital that was also a prison. He'd been sentenced to 5 years mandatory treatment, 10 years probation. He'd serve every day. He deserved it. But at least now he was stable, medicated, aware of his condition. His aunt had shown him Valentina's article. He'd read it 3 times. She'd been fair, honest about the trauma, but compassionate about his illness. She could have destroyed him. Instead, she told a complicated truth, that mental illness wasn't an excuse, but it was a factor. That society's failure to provide care created dangerous situations. Lucas sat on a bench, watching other patients. Some talked to themselves. Some stared blankly. Some seemed normal. He wondered where he fit, probably in between. Damaged but healing, dangerous but controlled. He'd never contact Valentina again. That door was closed. But he could work on himself, take his medication, build a life that didn't hurt people. That was the only redemption available. 1 year after Cancún, Valentina attended a conference on digital safety in Mexico City. She'd become an advocate. Her article had won an award. She'd been interviewed by international media. The girl who almost died became the woman who turned trauma into activism. During a break, a man approached. Mid-30s, kind eyes. Señora Restrepo, I work for a mental health non-profit in Guadalajara. Your work has inspired our latest campaign. Better access to psychiatric care. Would you consider partnering with us? Valentina smiled. I'd be honored. That night she video-called her sister. How are you doing, really? Valentina thought. I'm okay. Some days are harder. I still have nightmares. I'm more cautious. But I'm not broken. I survived something terrible, and I'm using it to help others. That feels meaningful. Her sister smiled. I'm proud of you. We were so scared we'd lose you. Valentina thought about strength. Was she strong, or just stubborn, refusing to let one man's illness define her life? She'd started dating again. Carefully, slowly, meeting people through friends, not apps. She wasn't sure she'd ever fully trust online relationships, but she hadn't given up on people. That felt like victory. The story of Valentina Restrepo and Lucas Ortega became a case study, discussed in psychology classes, referenced in mental health policy debates. It represented the intersection of modern dating, untreated mental illness, and the vulnerability of trusting strangers through screens. Some saw it as cautionary about online romance. Others saw it as an indictment of failing mental health systems. Both were correct. 2 people met online seeking connection. One was lonely and hopeful. The other was sick and desperate. Their collision created trauma that rippled outward, but it also created awareness. Conversations about safety, demands for better health care, recognition that mental illness, left untreated, destroys lives on both sides of violence. Years from now, Valentina would still tell this story, and Lucas would still carry the weight of what he'd done. 2 lives forever altered by 3 days in Cancun. 2 people who would never meet again, but whose shared trauma created something unexpected. Not healing exactly, not forgiveness, but understanding that sometimes the line between victim and perpetrator is blurred by forces beyond our control. And that compassion, even for those who hurt us, is not weakness. It's the only way forward.